And good afternoon, Texas Lake Syndicate.
Howdy.
Back in action, Pam.
Lorilee.
And today we're going to be talking about lakes in the hill country.
That's right. We're at a totally different side of the lake, but I thought that maybe just we should go back and reintroduce ourselves just a little bit in case you missed our first showing. This is showing number 2.
Woohoo.
So I know, right? We're almost pros.
We won't go that far.
Okay. So anyway, we are the Texas Lake Syndicate, and we work for Lake Homes Realty. And the thing about Lake Homes Realty is they are all over lakes in Texas, actually all over in the United States.
Yes.
But in Texas, they have showings of houses on 229 different lakes. And so we have, I think, 189, no wait, not that many, 29 agents or something like that in Texas. But we know a lot about lakes in Texas, and so we thought we could talk to you about different lakes and different things that happen at lakes that maybe you do or don't know about, and help you pick a lake to love and come live on it, and we'll help you.
Yes, we will.
So anyway, that's what we're doing. And then we work for Lake Homes Realty. They're out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we are the Texas Lake Syndicate because we're the biggest part of all of it.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway, we are going to talk about lake topics and lakes. So the topic that we want to talk about today is a little known subject about who owns the land under the water.
And who knew?
Who knew it was a topic?
That's right. On Lake Livingston, it's a non-issue. Nobody has rights to the land under the water.
But everybody has rights to the water.
Right.
Everybody has rights to the water.
Correct.
Nobody has rights to the land under the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that until I was talking to a client of mine who was fixing to buy a house on Lake Buchanan. And the neighbors told her that somebody else owned her waterfront, and she was beside herself.
And how weird is that, by the way?
I know, how weird is that? And come to find out, it was absolutely true. In Lake Buchanan and Marble Falls and a couple other places on the lakes in the Highlands, these were all done by the Army Corps engineers. Mm-hmm. And at some point, there was all this land, and they bought all the land and they made lakes out of it because Texas has need for water.
Correct.
And reservoirs.
Yeah.
And so that's what they did. But anyway, the land actually belongs to somebody and has passed down over the years. Even though it's underwater, it has passed down over the years. So I did a little research, and I found the man who owned the land under the water. And he had bought it from a man who had inherited it from his dad, who had bought it from somebody else, and they had title all the way back to sovereignty of Texas.
Explain to them what sovereignty means.
We used to be our own country.
That's right. Yes, we were.
So anyway, they showed the title of that land all the way back that far when he went and had the title research done. So anyway, he offered to sell back to different folks who wanted to buy the lots right in front of their house. And then on the other side of the lake, somebody else owned it all. So it was kind of the media was covering it all the way to Austin. So it was kind of crazy. But it actually is a thing. So if you don't know, you should, if you're buying a house on the lake, you may just want to ask your realtor if you actually own the lake. Sometimes people own it to the middle of the lake.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes they own from their seawall to the middle of the lake, as this one gentleman did.
Right.
He owned from people's seawall to the middle of the lake. And then he would sell that to them, that part right in front of their lots. Mm-hmm. And it was legal. Everything was legal to do. But it's just a thing that a lot of people don't know about. And in some lakes, it's not an issue. In some lakes, it is. Like, for instance, where I live in Lake Highlands, it is 5 lakes that all run down the Colorado River. So the Colorado River starts way up. Well, it doesn't go all the way to Colorado, but it's a different Colorado River. But it comes down all the way through 5 or 6 different lakes, all the way down into Austin, and then on from there. and is fed by several different other rivers. But they have made lakes in 5 different places off of the Colorado River, making reservoirs for that area for water. So the biggest one is Buchanan, which they have at the top, and then it runs down. So some of them are owned by the Lower Colorado River Authority, which, what is it that you call yours here, Trinity?
Ours is the Trinity River Authority.
Trinity River Authority.
Yeah.
So a lot of the land is owned by the Colorado River Authority, and anybody can use the water, but the land underneath it, and the Lower Colorado River Authority only can say if you are doing your boat dock wrong.
Right. That's the extent of their authority. Your bulkhead and your boat dock.
Yes.
You have to get permission from them.
To do all that. And you can't do beyond this or that or the other.
Right.
But anyway, all that to say, that is a little known subject that sometimes you need to ask about. I talked to somebody not too long ago who had owned their house for 30 years and didn't know who owned the land under the water in front of her house.
Well, and it's not on every lake. That's what's so
Exactly.
weird. I didn't know about it until I had a client bring it up to me, and they asked me who owned the land, and I'm like, the Trinity River Authority?
Yeah.
I don't know, because it had never come up because that was not a thing here.
Yeah. Now, here, do you have the thing where there is an easement up into beyond your...
Yes, they call that the flowage easement.
So explain that one.
So the flowage easement is a portion of your property when you're on the lake.
That over. You're getting out of the picture.
When you buy land on the lake, you own up to the water, obviously. I lost my train of thought. Where are we going?
Flowage easement.
Thank you. Flowage easement. Okay, sorry. So flowage easement, there's a portion of your property that's in the flowage easement. If the Trinity River Authority felt the need to let the water level come up to a certain point, that's what that flowage easement is about. They have the authority to actually cover part of your land with water.
With water.
However,
is it 10 feet here?
well, it varies.
Okay.
Kind of varies a little bit. Depends on the shoreline and all that kind of good stuff. But ultimately, if they let the water get that high, it would almost be high enough to go over the dam.
Ah.
So, since the lake has been here since 1969, they've never had to do that. They've never tried to do that. They've never wanted to do that. And literally, we're considered one of the only constant level lakes. So, we don't typically fluctuate more than a couple feet.
You're held up by a dam, right?
Yes.
What dam are you on?
The Lake Livingston Dam?
The Lake Livingston Dam. The one by my house is the Words Dam.
Oh, okay. No, this is just the
yeah.
Livingston Dam.
Okay.
It does not have a special name as far as I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have several dams by us because we have the 5 different lakes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's another thing to know is what the flowage easement is on your property, just so that you know. I mean, you may never need to know or have any problem with it, but it's kind of a good thing to ask and something that everybody doesn't know about.
Well, and most lenders, fun fact, you can't have your home built in the flowage easement because the TRA has command over that dirt. So you can't, so therefore a lender's not going to lend there, because if they did have the need to raise the lake,
your house would be in the water.
your house would be in the water and insurance wouldn't pay.
They don't like that.
And the lender wouldn't get their money, and you know how that goes. So that's what it's different than the floodplain.
Yes.
So don't confuse that with the floodplain.
That's right.
That's a different thing, and
we'll
not
talk about that on another one.
Yeah, not everybody's in the floodplain. So, yeah.
So those are good questions to talk to whenever you're looking at land. Ask your realtor if you actually own the land under the water out in front of your place and how far out, or if it's owned by, say, the Trinity River Authority or the Lower Colorado River Authority, LCRA. It's just a good thing to know, and maybe it's not a deal at all, but hey, you'll sure look smart when you ask.
Well, and fun fact too, unless your focus as a realtor is on lake property, your average realtor would not know that answer. They wouldn't even know who to call to get the answer. So
that's why you got to call Lake.
Yeah, so it's really important to call someone that literally focuses on waterfront.
That's what we do all time,
and that we
every day.
We learn these things through trial and error, And I mean, I had no idea about owning the land under the lake. I thought that was the craziest thing I'd ever heard. But I just hadn't been
on a lake that mattered.
Yeah, it was a non-issue here. It never even crossed my mind. So it's understandable that the average agent wouldn't have that knowledge. So nothing against them. They just they don't know that they don't know.
Right. So that's one of the good reasons to make sure that when you're hiring an agent, let's say you're going to move here to Lake Livingston or to Lake LBJ, you want to hire somebody who's in that area and knows that area, not your best friend from Dallas who, can look stuff up for you.
Right.
You need somebody who really knows what's going on in that market, because it's different in each market and each lake. There's different things.
Well, and if they're not a lake agent, they don't know the right questions to ask you to make sure you're buying the correct waterfront property.
Yeah.
There's so many variables.
Yeah, there are so many. And I tell you what, every single time I buy or sell one for a client, I learn something new.
Yes.
Every single time.
Every time.
Oh, that too. Septic.
That's a whole nother
That's an ugly
episode.
story.
We'll do an episode
Yeah,
on
we'll do an
septic
episode.
systems.
Septic.
Yeah, so fun.
Take notes, things we got to talk about.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, those are some subjects that you may want to talk about. So now we're going to talk about my lake.
Yes, we are.
I have 5.
She has 5. I only have 1. She has 5.
Yeah, but they all together might make up your lake. I don't know.
Yeah, they would all fit in my lake.
That
but,
probably. But anyway, I live on what is called the Highland Lakes, and it is 5 lakes that run from Buchanan on the Colorado River all the way down into Austin, and it's fed by the Llano and I think Pedernales when it gets down there by Austin. So, but I specifically work in the upper Highland Lakes, which is Buchanan, Inks Lake, Lake LBJ, where I am, and Marble Falls. And then Lake Travis, we have another lady on our team, Nancy, who is expert on Lake Travis. I don't know that much about it, but if you call me about it, I will send you her number.
There you go.
But anyway, she's an expert on Lake Travis. And then Libby and I, who are on that team, do Buchanan, LBJ, Marble Falls, and Inks. And each one of those are wildly different lakes. Even though they're all flowing out of the same Colorado River, each one of them is very, very different. And goes, when you want to, when somebody's asking about it, you need to know, hey, are you a fisherman? Is that what you really want to concentrate on?
Yes.
Or do you just have a speedboat and you just want to go for miles? What lake do you want to be on? Because if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to tell you Marble Falls, because Marble Falls is, what did I say? 5.7 miles long?
Yeah, it's a small lake. It's a great lake.
It's a great lake. It's so quiet. It's so nice.
Pretty. It's clear.
And it's right there in Marble Falls. You can sit over in the Riverside Cafe and look out over all of it.
The views are spectacular.
Yes, gorgeous. And then it's down in the canyons and all that. So cool. But Marble Falls is a smaller one. And then Inks Lake is what is known as, people like to say constant level. Bruce told me not to say that.
Okay.
I think he said managed level.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to say constant level.
Tomato.
A constant level. But the point is that because it's managed by dams, as you were talking about, because it's managed by dams, they have to keep it at a certain level. And there is a power plant, I call it the Water Fairies Castle. There is a power plant where the water fairies spend all day turning water into electricity, so they have to keep it at a level where that can work.
Right.
So Lake LBJ is what they call a constant level or a managed level lake. Gotcha. And Lake Inks Lake is the same way.
Right, and there aren't that many in the state that are considered managed level or constant level.
Yeah.
There's not that many.
No, so what happens is, let's say for instance, Lake Travis or Buchanan, much larger lakes, but not managed level.
There you go.
So I can remember when we had the big drought, year before last, I was out showing property at Lake Buchanan, and I pulled up, it was the spring, it was like April, and I pulled up and I'm like, oh my gosh, they got water. How did they get water? It was all bluebonnets. The whole lake was covered in bluebonnets.
I bet it was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous.
But it was not water.
It was not water, so you can't ride your boat in bluebonnets.
No.
So anyway, but it was beautiful. But so now the lake is back up. I think I looked today, Buchanan is at 93%. So that's awesome.
Okay, do you happen to know what the capacity at Travis is at right now? That's always the one people talk about.
You want to look that up?
Oh, I can't. Anyway, but no, I'm just curious because that one is.
I think it's up to like, I want to say like 70%.
Okay.
No, wait. That's more than that. It's more than that. It was like 90%.
Had some good rain.
Yeah, we had lots of rain, and there was some sad things that happened because of all the rain over there by us.
Yeah.
Which, tragic.
Too much of a good thing.
Too much of a good thing. Very tragic loss of life due to the floods. But our levels are all back up. And I can tell you on Lake Buchanan, it's kind of has a different reputation because of the fact that the water can go down so low. But the great thing about Buchanan is how long it is. It is 31 miles long. I was boating with friends one day, and we got way out that there's waterfalls and these canyons, and I mean, you look like you're in Disney World or something, with all these waterfalls coming down. It's so cool. Totally lost track of time. My husband's like calling me, and I had my phone, in the seat, and didn't hear it. He's like, "Are you coming home?" I'm like, "What?"
Nope.
So it's lovely, and the ride all the way back up there, up the Colorado River, is spectacular. You have to see it, but it's known as a fishing lake, and so there's lots of little cubbies and coves and places you can go, and it's well known for fishing there in Buchanan. And then you have Lake LBJ, which is known for being constant managed level.
Right.
But it's very long as well. I think, what did I tell you was LBJ's length? 21 miles.
Yeah.
21 miles. So it's long, but it's narrow because it's really part of the river until you get to about Granite Shoals, that area, and then the whole thing opens out. Then you have a huge lake. So you got Horseshoe Bay, Granite Shoals, Sunrise, all of that right there in that really super duper open area. And so that is well loved by people who like to take their kids boating or
tubing and skiing, and
that's what that's good for.
The wake boats for them to ride, surf on the wakes.
Yeah, exactly. That's very, very popular. And then of course you have the Horseshoe Bay Resort there, which has its own popularity.
Yeah.
So you've got all those people that are there for the resort and then using the marinas and the pools and all that stuff there at the resort. Which
it's beautiful. We stayed one time and it was lovely.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. So and if you just want to come visit it and check it out, I would recommend staying at the Horseshoe Bay Resort. It's a very, very nice.
It was very nice.
And then also if you go to Hidden Falls, that used to be the Hampton Inn in Marble Falls.
Oh, okay.
And they've redone it, and it's very nice. So you can easily go there and get a great taste for what's all there. Because the other part of that is we're about 45 minutes west of Bee Cave, which is the far west side of Austin.
Right.
So if I want to go to Sam's or if I want to go to all the Shishu places, I'm not far. And it's just, I get on 71 and it's a straight shot over there. It's so easy. So it's a lot of people even commute to Austin from Horseshoe Bay and Marble Falls and all of that area. So it's a great area there. And the Marble Falls is such a cute little. Have you been to downtown Marble Falls?
I mean, who doesn't go to the Blue Bonnet Cafe?
The Blue Bonnet Cafe.
Best pies ever.
And been there since what?
Forever.
1929 or something.
Very, very long time.
I think same family all the time. Something crazy like that. Maybe not 29.
Still
maybe
there.
59.
Fabulous breakfast. And again, can't say enough about the
pie.
pie.
Go early, you will be standing in line.
Yes, you will.
And you know what else you'll see while you're standing in line? A picture of Bruce Jones' team.
Oh.
We're on the wall in the Blue Bonnet Cafe. My husband goes to a Bible study there early in the morning. He's like, "That's your picture every day."
Every day.
But anyway, Blue Bonnet Cafe is lovely, and there are so many restaurants and cute little shops. Have you been to the Crooked Antler in Marble Falls?
I have not. We had a deer lease in Marble Falls years and years and years ago, and
Crooked Antler is a dress shop.
There was nothing there. They're crooked or otherwise. There was nothing there. So,
Lots
yeah.
of cute clothes.
I need to
lots
go
of
come back
cute
and
things.
shop.
Yes, you do. And it's done so well there. Their little downtown area is just a nice area with restaurants and shops and all that you need to go to. And lots of sculptures. They have lots of sculptures there too. Ooh, and you know that that picture of Jesus that the girl drew when she was like 8 years old and all that?
Yeah.
The original's in Marble Falls.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you have to look at Beloved Cafe.
Okay.
They have all that there. So anyway, oh my goodness, we've talked a long time already.
We have talked a long time.
I have a lot of
We have so much to talk about, though.
I know.
So this is why you're going to see us consistently, because there are so many lakes and so many noteworthy things when it comes to lake life.
I know. We got lots to tell you.
Yeah.
And lots to hear from you, we hope.
Yes.
So we will see you again in March and hope to hear your comments.
Bye.
Life is short.
By
By the lake house.